Hey everyone, how are you? Happy Thursday. I'm so excited. We got Thought Leader Thursday here for you with the amazing Lee Smith. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, honey. So excited to be here.
Yes, one of my favorite people on the planet. I'm so excited to introduce you to her. She's a productivity architect with Upcycle Coaching. She is a motivational speaker. She's a master connector and a 2-time Amazon bestseller author. And she lives in Reno, Nevada. If you guys are here, can I get a shout out? Tell me where you're from. And I just had to bring her on for Thought Leader Thursday because she is doing amazing things in our community. Said she is a best-selling author too. Do you want to show them your books, by the way?
Sure.
I'm so proud of her.
Here's one. The real journey of the empowered mom boss.
Can I get an amen?
And then 6 months later, it was Reno Rising.
All about women's empowerment. So yes, we start here as like master connector here in Reno, Nevada, but your ripple, especially with these books, are global. Your
Absolutely.
ripple is endless. Your ripple is global. And so again, for you to be featured here on Thought Leader Thursday, we are just so excited. So first, let's dive in. Tell us a little bit about what does it mean to be a productivity architect?
It means I get to build things, or in this case, design. And what I love doing with my clients is helping them design a life that they will love living. Instead of being busy, overwhelmed and stressed and like, how do I tackle my to-do list? And how do I get past this knowing I'm busy, but not feeling like I'm getting anything done? So I help you design your life with the priorities, not so much to get more done in less time, but to get the right things done with the right intention so that you feel more positive, certainly more productive, and then more peaceful at night when you go to bed.
And isn't that the dream?
Absolutely.
And isn't that the dream, to be able to go to bed at night and feel so satisfied in your heart, knowing that you've said the right things, you've done the right things, like you have accomplished, you feel productive. Absolutely amazing. And tell me a little bit about, or tell us about Upcycle Coaching. How did you come up with that name?
Yeah, it was amazing because I believe in listening to the universe or that little voice inside your head. And went shortly after that little voice downloaded, if you will, my signature curriculum, which is Design Your Sweet Life with Candy, and I'll tell you more about that later. And then I thought, well, this life coaching that I'm passionate about and helping people with their productivity, and I want to help them get to the next level, but next level coaching seems like it's been used quite a bit. I wanted to come up with something unique, and the word upcycle came to me. And I thought, okay, well, to make sure I'm using it in the right way, I did look up in the glossary to see what it said. And upcycle is to process something so as to make it better than what it originally was. So I take you feeling stuck and stressed and overwhelmed. I help you tweak through your mindset and your alignment with your truth and discovering your gifts and your genius and your greatness. And then I help you process all of that because that's all within you. I just bring it out so you can see it for yourself. And guess what? You end up becoming better than who you were when you first sat down with me. So we get to upcycle that life into the best that you could possibly live.
I love that. And the whole theme of this academy is mediocre to magical. And mediocre isn't a bad word. It's what life is. It can be. We can make mediocre choices about our health, about the thoughts that we think, about the food that we put in our body, around the people that we spend the most time with. And the whole idea is to identify where that mediocre is and then grow from it. I love like the upcycling of it.
Upcycling.
And then life becomes magical. And that's what you're talking about. Like, it's way better than where you were. And you create the action plan, the productivity action plan to get people from where they are to where they want to be. So I absolutely love that. What an amazing calling that you have. And also, kind of giggling because when I saw you on social media, and I was like, who is this person? She was popping up at all these events, and I was like, I need to get to know her. And we finally sat down for coffee, and I was like, no wonder, all of the magic. So you have so much to offer the world, and we're so grateful for you. How did you become a coach? Like, how did you discover this calling?
Oh, man. You know, it's interesting looking back, reflecting, because I was curious too, like, when did this all start? And when I got honest with myself, really took that moment to be self-aware in that it actually started when I was 7 years old. I was the oldest of 3 kids in the family, and it was a time that my parents came in and spoke with me and said, hey, so we're going to get a divorce, and we want to know who you want to live with. Now, who does that to a 7-year-old,
Yeah.
right? And this was also in a time when divorce wasn't as rampant as it is now. So that was a new word to me, didn't know what it was. I think I was studying for the spelling bee at the time. So my first thought was, how do you spell that?
Yeah.
And then it was a follow-up. I was like, well, what do you mean? Who do I want to live with? And I began this thought process of, okay, well, let's see what happens when I live with my dad. And I had observed my dad was not so great with things around the house, like the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and all of that. But Dad's really smart with math and science. He can help me with my schoolwork. So, okay, I'll have to figure out how to do the laundry, how to cook my own meals, all of that stuff. But Dad can help me with my schoolwork.
Yeah.
And when I looked at the flip side, and I was like, okay, Mom, I won't have to worry about anything because she'll make sure there's a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food on the table. Okay, those needs will be met. But Mom's from Vietnam, and so there's a culture difference, and there's a little bit of a language barrier.
What a decision.
So if I live with Mom, basic needs will be covered, but she can't really help me in school. And so as a 7-year-old, I was reflecting on what's more important to me, basic needs or getting good grades.
Yeah.
And what that did for me in my entire life experience was to work and seal my brain in such a way that's like, hey, I'm a problem solver. I could have taken that situation. I've heard many stories like this, unfortunately, where then the child at that point goes, oh, this must mean I'm not good enough.
Yes.
This must mean I'm not lovable. That didn't cross my mind, and I'm grateful for that. You know, what it was like, hey, we got a problem. What are my options? Which option is going to get me the best solution that I desire?
I love that.
Right? And then I moved through life, and now I've encountered other adversities. We don't have enough time to go through my entire story. The most recent one was around 2015 into 2016 and even part of 2017. I fell into a really deep depression. I had fulfilled a dream of being a stay-at-home mom. I have two kids. One's a stepson, and then I have a daughter with my marriage. And with the stepson dynamic and then raising my own daughter, there was a 7-year age difference between the two kids, and just how the trading back and forth impacted my marriage through so many factors in there, and just my life in general. I had taken on so much identity in being a stay-at-home mom and the homemaker and all of that I kind of lost myself. And in losing myself and all these other factors, I fell into a really massive, deep, I kid you not, abysmal depression. I probably was clinically depressed. I just didn't seek that professional help.
Right.
And it was horrible. And then it reached a point where I was like, this is not me. This is not who I am. And so I don't want to be here, but how do I get out of this? And it was one question that turned everything around for me. And that question was, Lee, what makes you happy? And I couldn't answer it. Yeah. I could not answer it. And I thought, well, that's the start. That's where we start. I need to go on a quest to figure out what is going to make me happy. And I thought, you know what? Screw the rest of the world.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah.
Even my own family. You know, my marriage wasn't in the best place, but I even said, you know what? We're putting the marriage aside. I'm just going to focus totally on me and figure out the answer to that question. What makes me happy? And it was the beginning of 2017 when I chose the word laugh, because I couldn't remember when was the last time I had a good laugh. And I went and sought anything and everything that would make me laugh, including watching Friends sitcom, my favorite show of all time, over and over again. And even though I've seen it 1,000 times over, I know all the lines, I still bust up laughing. And then there's a live comedy troupe who had weekly shows, so you could count on me. Pretty much every Friday I was showing up in that show so I could bust up the sides. And then I surrounded myself with people who were positive and also had a great sense of humor. I'm still working on my joke telling skills, but they had it down pat, and I knew I was going to bust up around them, so I just continuously surrounded myself. And then I came across a coach who is so phenomenal. She's very prevalent in our community. You might know her. Shout out to Dr. Erin.
Oh my gosh. Who's on my screen right now?
Absolutely.
I have Dr. Erin on my screen right now. That's so funny.
So I crossed paths with Dr. Erin, and then I had a consult with her, and I gained so much clarity. It just started cracking open what was inside of me. And I'm like, oh, this is my desire. This is what I want. And then I started thinking about the how, but I just continuously surrounded myself with, what was going to feed and pull me along to help me get clear on that desire. And once I knew what I wanted, then I'm like, oh, well, who do I need to be to get that? And once I figured that out, I recognized the gap, and then it was figuring out how to close that gap to become who I am now, right? So 2017, I met Dr. Erin in February 2017. We probably had a call about a month later, and then I started journeying with her and learning from her and kind of holding onto her coattails. I'm like, I want to be doing what she's doing. And here, listen up. So I went from being almost couch potato, playing Candy Crush all the time. I couldn't move, couldn't do anything for myself, much less anyone else, right? 2018, oh my goodness, I started manifesting. I went to conferences and seminars. I did a deep dive into my personal education, self-education. I became a 2-time Amazon best-selling author just 6 months apart. I graduated from Dale Carnegie's Skills for Success. I graduated from Brendan Richard's High Performance Mastery program, and I raised $1,200 for a fundraiser for Big Brothers Big Sisters. In this day last year, I rappelled 324 feet, that is 17 stories, along the side of the Grand Sierra Resort. I pushed myself again and again. I adopted a mantra, and you can adopt it too. It is, outside my comfort is my zone. Mm-hmm. And so it's like anytime I come up, something that was holding me back, if it was a fear, if it was like, nope, not stepping out of that comfort, I'm not going to leave it. No, I am. I'm going to push myself. It was the only way that I could grow. So I feel like I've upcycled myself from that depression into skyrocketing and flying now. So I know that if I was able to do that for myself, I know I can help you do it too. And I have.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that beautiful story, because I do believe that our experience is our most impressive credential. And we can have the certifications help, all those things. But when you've been through it yourself and you've climbed out of that hole and you've gotten to where you are today, like what a beautiful, 180. That beautiful flip that you have done, and you're coming out of this space. And that is what makes you the best coach at what you do. So what I'm hearing and what I've heard in that story is, if you are struggling with I don't even know what makes me happy anymore. I feel stuck. What's up? What's down? I just feel like I'm a couch potato, as you would describe. Yeah. Maybe you're like, I don't know what my path is. Whatever that is,
go on a quest. Make it happen. Come and chat with me. I will help you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to have all of Lee's information posted above and below, depending on the platform that you are looking at. So you'll be able to connect with her. I'm super duper excited. So now let's talk about, what does it look like to work with you? So you do have a program, correct?
Yes, I do. I have a signature program. It's called Design Your Sweet Life with Candy. It's calorie-free and guilt-free. And Candy is my acronym for clarity, affirmation, necessity, discipline, uniqueness, spelled Y-O-U. So it's getting clear on your goals and who you need to be to make them happen, so then you can get into gear, right? Affirmation is that self-talk. This is the battlefield that we fight on all the time, right? So getting the right self-talk. Words are powerful. There's a whole program around it called neuro-linguistic programming. And it's all about using the power of words. And then necessity is like, when you know what you want, do you want it now or do you want it later? Necessity is that process of creating the sense of urgency so we can put in the action and make those things happen. And then discipline is my favorite. Let's see if I can do this, because it's a muscle that we have to exercise, right? So imagine the word discipline right there. Yeah. And so it's a muscle that we have to use. And so when we exercise our discipline, it pushes our motivation. So even in the days when we don't feel like it, discipline will get us to our goals anyway. And then uniqueness. You are amazing. And there's a genius, there's gifts, There's greatness inside of you. And sometimes it's just covered up with the dirt of life, the distractions and labels that people put on us. And it just gets so clouded up, we can't even see it. So I help you remove those limiting beliefs and self-doubts and the lack of confidence so that you can see that inside of yourself. And we bring that out, and then you shine, much like my tiara here.
Yes.
You shine, and then you step out, and you truly are a diamond. And that's what I want for you, so that you are living your best life, because life is meant to be lived fully, don't you think? It's not to be meant plopped on the couch, depressed, any of that. And when you're going through that, I just say keep going. Keep moving through it, because yes, life is going to hit us. It's not to say that once all of these things are figured out that life is going to be easy or adversity won't hit you again. But going through this, now you'll have the strength to cope with that and move through those pains and adversities even faster than before. So it's a 12-month program that I do with my coaching, and we start with a full day intensive. So it's just you and me, 6 hours, and we're just deep diving.
What a joy.
Deep diving into what is it you want? What is going to make you happy? What's going to light you up and get you out? And, we'll go through the right questions to really pull that out of you. And then we'll meet twice a month, 1 hour at a time, so that we can deep dive through the work of the online course, which is the Design Your Sweet Life with Candy. And it breaks those pieces down. You'll have worksheets to complete and exercises, a little bit of homework, but it's processing for you, right? And then we'll meet, we'll also have reflection time where it's like, okay, well, how is the journey going? Because I don't want to just work. I want to know, are you getting results? And if not, where do we need to pivot things? Because it's all customized around you. And then if there are others who are joining you in the program, which, everybody's looking for a community, right? There's a private Facebook community where you can share your journey with others and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. So somebody can cheer you on in the struggle. They can celebrate you when you have your wins, and then be there just to support you and say, hey, I'm taking this journey too.
I love that. That's so cool. And also, first of all, an intensive with Lee. You guys have just been on here for a couple minutes, like 16 minutes, pretty much. And you can already feel the power of this. Could you imagine like a super intensive where you're deep diving into what are your wants, your needs, your goals, and the direction that's going to take to get you there? Super powerful. And I also love that you offer worksheets too, because sometimes it's fleeting. Sometimes it can be, right? Where you're like, oh, I feel super motivated. And then 6 months later or a year later, you're like, man, I might be at the same space. And that's why it's so important for us to have these tools. And you have these, first of all, you have an amazing coach that you can always touch back with, but you have these worksheets that you can reevaluate yourself. You can look back at your old answers, see how much you've grown, right? Whatever that looks like for you. I think it's such a beautiful, super duper smart program. So let's talk about one of your most popular talks, the Creative and the Reactive. Would you like to share?
Yes.
They said she's a motivational speaker, and I love that Lee, oh my gosh, I got to say this, where there's so much more we can talk about. But I like fluff, but I don't love fluff. Right. Because I want to get drilled in right to what it is we want to work on. Lee, you are so freaking good at that. And if you know, she's got systems, she's got workshops, she's got the worksheets, she just dials it in and just totally nails it. And so I would love to hear your training on creative and reactive.
Thank you. Because it's one thing to have motivational speakers out there who fluff you up and you walk away and you're all high, right? But then when the real world hits, then what? And yes, I want you feeling good, when you walk away from me, but I also want you to wake up the next morning going, oh, she gave me tools that I can use now, so that you can get back to that feeling again and again and again whenever you want. And that only comes through the tools and the systems, right? So I'm so excited to share this with you, because this was another one of those little whispers that came through, and I went, oh, this is amazing. So I hope this is fun for you too. So here's what I want you to look at. These two words, reactive and creative, right? And if you look closely, they're anagrams, which means they have the exact same letters. And I say the difference between these two words is, how do you see yourself? If you see yourself bombarded by demands and expectations, to-do lists, and all kinds of expectations, whether you put them on yourself or somebody puts it on you. You got that piling to-do list, you got that piling laundry on the couch, right? The dishes in the sink, all of that. And there's so many goals that you want to accomplish. Maybe you've said yes to so many projects, and so all of that is surrounding you, pulling you in all these different directions. You want to pull your hair out, right? And you feel like you're just reacting and reacting and reacting, and like, I'm busy reacting and reacting and reacting, and what are you really getting done? And are you living the kind of day that you really want to experience? But if you see yourself at the beginning, and now you are clear on what you want, then you take command of your day, and then you prioritize those things in the way that you want them to. You set the day up, you design it the way that you want to live it, and then you put those priorities and time blocks into place. Now, that's not to say the distractions and interruptions won't come. They may still exist, right? But then, because you have that clarity, you can take that distraction or demand or interruption and go, does this align with what I want to experience? And if it does, you can say yes. And if it doesn't, you can say no. And that's powerful too. I love saying no. Yes, and it's a full sentence. You don't have to put anything else behind it. Just, no, I'm good. Right? So I love being creative. And it really is a matter of, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself bombarded, or do you see yourself taking command and then designing your day? So I hope that perspective, helps you to look at, what are you doing with your priorities? Are you even creating priorities? Do you even know what you want? If not, let's get together and get clear. Let's do that first step and get clear on what you want. Like, I had to get clear on what makes me happy, because happiness is different for everybody, right? So let's find, what's the right question for you, get those answers, and then help you be more creative. Yeah,
so good. And it's also like, what would it take for you to see yourself first? I mean, that's a genius way to describe it and to point it out too, because sometimes it's like, the examples with like the letters on this side and the letters on this side, and this is what it feels. Then you lay your head on the pillow at night and you're like, man, I got this done, but I have all of this left, and you can't even sleep peacefully. Right? I love the idea of like rearranging those letters, rearranging your day and your experiences to just like really bring power to yourself, stepping into your power. So you're running your day instead of your day running you. So super genius. Yes. Now let's talk about some testimonials, because you've worked with clients, and I mean, I think the world of you, and I will say I have great friends, and I have an amazing support system, and Lee, you are absolutely one of those, and I'm just like, I'm so grateful. Like, I learned how to be a better person by watching you and observing you, and how you just love on people in such a magnificent way as a friend, but certainly as a coach, because there's a different energy there too. So you get the whole package with her. You get the really, it's not intense, because I wouldn't say you're intense at all, but like the determined and the highly focused, like the well-rounded and the creative questions that are the right questions to get to it. And you get like this loving energy as well. So you're supported no matter how crazy your dream or how lost you feel, or maybe you're super depressed and you're like, I don't even want to lift up my head to have a conversation. This is the person that you can have that with. And so I just love it. And you guys know I'm always available, but I believe leaders delegate. And I am not the most gentle person. My friend Lee is. And like, that's why I'm like, I need to if you have that.
Sorry, kick the table.
Rocking out over here.
Yes.
So let's talk about some client testimonials. What are some of the most interesting things you've heard?
Sure. Oh gosh. From something as simple as a clarity call, which I want to offer your audience, I offer a 30-minute complimentary clarity call. So we just dial into one issue that you might be having that you want help with. And so there was a call that I did back in April with a gal that I had met on Facebook. And she was a busy mom. She had a side business she wanted going. She had a part-time job she was doing as well. And then just being the mom and the wife of the home, right? All the things. And she's like, I do feel I'm just so pulled in all these directions. I don't even know where to start. So we had a conversation. I probably gave her about 4 or 5 tactics. And I'm like, I know I've given you lots of recommendations here, but you know what? You don't have to do them all at once. So I just want you to pick one. Just pick one. And she texted me back in August, and it was amazing because she's like, Lee, I just have to tell you that, yeah, at the time of our conversation, you gave me lots of ideas and it was a little bit overwhelming. Like all of them were great, but I knew I couldn't do them all at once. And so I just picked one and I stuck with it for 30 days. And she's like, Lee, oh my God, I had my best performing month in my entire career. And she's like, that's because of you. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And then I had another gal recently who acquired a business, and acquiring this business is a dream of hers. And I just went to her and said, congratulations. And she turned to me and she said, Lee, this is because of you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And because we had been meeting weekly and I had just given her tips on, again, how to align her mind so she could align her time. And then she did that in such a way she was able to take Mondays off. Can you imagine taking an entire day off for yourself? She was able to do that following the tools and tactics I had given her. And then she managed her priorities within that 4-day week. And she said through that process, it gave her the confidence to take ownership of this baton and this business, fulfill her dream, and to be able to do that with confidence. And then my last testimony, because I work with both men and women. And so I have a gentleman that I had been coaching for a while, and he came to me completely discombobulated. He was like, I'm trying to see these clients and I don't even know how to fit them all into my schedule, and I want to have a life too. I don't want to just be working all the time, but I got to make my rent, but I don't want to be worried about money. And I mean, just all the things. And I'm like, wow, okay, you know what? There's tools, there's tactics, there's a system that we can put into place to help you just, right? And we worked together, and within 6 months of working together, oh my goodness, he was able to see all the clients he wanted to see, then manage his books in such a way, he's like, I don't even worry about my rent. I see my clients, I follow through with the appointments, and at the end of my day, I still have energy to enjoy my evening with my friends or by myself, whatever it happens to be. Wouldn't you like that too? Are you tired of working, whatever it is that you're doing, and you're just like, oh, I'm so tired. I mean, for me, I work during the day. I work 4 days a week as well because my husband typically has Mondays off. And so I do my schedule in such a way that I'm able to do the things Tuesday through Friday while my husband is at work and my daughter is in school, and then still keep my energy in such a way that when they're home, I can be present with them and I can still give them the best of myself. So again, because I've been able to do that, I can give those to you as well so that you can have that too. Because again, life is meant to be lived fully, the whole time that you're awake, the moment you get up out of bed, all the things, and then up until you go to bed at night, and to be able to do that peacefully too.
That's so good. And another thing I was thinking about as you were talking is, Lee, you're going to find her at pretty much every networking event. You are all over the place. And I love that because it adds another level and layer of credibility to you as a coach, because you are always out there experiencing what is new. You know what is true for you, but also you're going to grow from here and here and here and here. And that is a serious coach. I want someone who is hungry about learning the newest and the latest and really making an impact in the world rather than just staying like this and hoarding it to yourself. Right. That's so inspirational for me. And I adore you for that. So how can people connect with you? We've gone over a little bit about you and the sessions and testimonials and got a beautiful taste of your coaching. So if people are curious about that, what is the best way for them to connect with you?
The best way to connect is direct message me on Facebook, and you can find me at Lee, spelled L-Y, Piper Smith, or you can you can email me at coach@upcyclecoaching.com, and then I'll respond to you. I'm also on Instagram. That's a fun one that I chose, living, loving, laughing _Lee. And if you want more, I do a daily Instagram live Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. And I just share a little story or a tool, a tactic there too, I like to say, help you become better today than who you were yesterday. So those are great things. And then if you're live here in Reno, if you live in the local area, I do put on a weekly, I call it Coffee Connection Mastermind.
And so that's
a Friday Coffee Connection is what it is. Friday Coffee Connection. It is a mastermind power hour. And so I get everybody working on the same wavelength. I give a little presentation to drop a concept, get everybody thinking, and then we break out into small groups of 3 or 4, and we're business professionals, entrepreneurs, employers, moms, dads, wives, husbands, all the good stuff. And we take those expertise and experiences and we contribute to problem solving through the biggest challenges. And we also put the ask out there for ourselves. Hey, this is what I'm struggling with this week, or this is the goal that I want to accomplish today. Can you help me brainstorm through that? And I, again, have had so many, just even little transformations there. I have one gal, she's like, I just can't wait for 9:30 Friday a.m. to show up at this power hour. She's a saleswoman, and she was in a funk when she came to me at first, and then she has just skyrocketed her productivity and her sales, which means more money for her too. And sometimes more money can just take some of the pain and stress away as well. So I invite you to the Friday Coffee Connection. That's 9:30 to 10:30 at Glory Cloud Coffee, which is located at 10 Greg Street, Unit 122, next to Fly High Trampoline Park. And then if I may offer my workshop next week,
please,
I am doing a full day workshop. So you can come and spend a full day with me, as well as other like-minded entrepreneurs, business professionals. And it's an opportunity to go through a series of exercises, 6 of them total, and it's a way to dig deep, a little bit deeper with yourself, get connected, really connected and fully engaged with your goals, and then you get connected with the participants there. So it's beyond the networking where you might be like, oh, so what do you do? And like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Can I have your card? And then you never talk to each other again. Let's build real relationships. Let's build real connections and do that in a way that, hey, I know your goals. Now you know mine. We can hold each other accountable. And then like, hey, some of my connections might help you, or I have referrals for you to help push you forward too. So creating that sense of community. So if you want to accelerate toward your goals, gain more clarity and full engagement with, your day to day to make it even better, and then connect with the community with like-minded individuals who are doers and action takers too, so that you can have all of that together. I strongly invite you. You can find it on Eventbrite. It is Coffee Connection Mastermind. Tickets are on sale right now through Tuesday. So grab your ticket and come along. I'd love to have you. Lunch will be provided. It'll be healthy lunch. I know there's different needs out there. I'm trying to meet all the needs so that you'll be covered. And if you have any questions, just drop me a message and I'll be happy to help you there. Oh, one more thing in that direction too, to keep it super simple. You can even use text. You can text Upcycle to 84882.
Ooh, okay, beautiful. Lee, she's got it together. I love that you have so many offerings for the community. You are in the city for the city, in our community for our community. That is so powerful. Again, all that information will be posted above or below. And if you aren't able to make it to this one, hopefully you can. If you're not in Reno, you can get on the wait list for the next time that she's going to have this. And I will say the mastermind, I've done a lot of coaching, I've done a lot of mastermind things. My favorite one by far. The most productive. I had amazing connections. I had multiple calls and conversations afterwards because we were about developing those really deep relationships. So I've got one more fireball question for you. Sure. What is your favorite word and what does it taste like?
Oh, wow. Gosh, really? Put on the spot.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I think right now, my favorite word is vibrant.
Oh!
Vibrant, shining, just energy. I love to be energized, guys. You are getting a lot of energy from me, and it's genuine. This is who I am, and it's beyond night and day from when I was depressed and just unable to move. And being depressed and unable to move is just not a way to live. Mm-hmm. Being vibrant. Oh, I love that word. It's a word I say to myself when I'm in the shower. It's like, okay, what can I get excited about today? And I'm like, I am just going to shine and be vibrant and bring joy to people, right? Rub that word all over. Absolutely. Yeah. That was actually the word I wrote down at the retreat too. And oh gosh, what does it taste like? Oh my goodness. Okay, today is like the last warm day. Yeah. A cold front is going to be coming through here. So it's a high of 89 today, and we got a high of 54 coming in 48 hours. And when it's cold, I love a good glass of whiskey and bourbon over rye any day, and bourbon, and just letting that it just fires up the back of the mouth, and it just silkily slides down the throat, and then it just warms the tummy. That's what vibrant tastes like to me.
So good, filling every cell in your body with that warm, silky, smooth. I love it. I love it so much. Well, thank you so much, Lee, for being here. Thank you, everyone
Ashley,
who is watching this today.
Thank you so much. I hope this served you.
Yes, in an amazing, magical way. We love you so much, and we will see you next time. All right, bye.